Right.
just that they have an agreement within their caucus that will allow collective bargaining for wages only, and no strike, no binding arbitration. Haven't been briefed on the details.
You know, my first point on this is that unfortunately we've had to learn this from you guys. We learned it concurrently with the gavel. You know, we had heard some potential rumors, but we had not been included in any of those discussions surrounding potential negotiations or compromise. You know, we're learning about it just as you are. It sounds like we still have a long way to go when it comes to, you know, meeting some agreements on this. You know, we haven't had an opportunity to have a dialogue directly with the majority, and I have no idea what stakeholders they've even engaged in this.
Well, the idea of restoring collective bargaining to state employees, but at the same time saying you cannot strike.
Right.
Do you think
You can't, just to speak to, was it you actually that said you can't sort of half do it? I mean, you can't say you can collectively bargain, but oh, by the way, you can't strike. I mean, it doesn't necessarily, you know, work in that regard. So to me, it seems like window dressing to say, well, you know, we're providing you with an opportunity to collectively bargain, you know, on wages specifically is what I understand. And again, I'm sort of getting this again as you all did at the same time. To say no, you can't strike. To say you know you don't have an opportunity to negotiate, for example, for health care benefits. It's still unclear in regards to if there are any changes pertaining to any of the other groups. You know, I don't know if there's any changes, for example, for educators and teachers. Are there any changes pertaining to you know the safety forces? What's going on with binding arbitration? So I mean, at this point, you know, I'm less than impressed with what has been offered, and really disappointed that we've had to learn about this information. You know, concurrently with the press. Not that we don't appreciate, you know, the fourth rail of government, of course, but you know, if indeed this was a true, transparent, fair, and collaborative, you know, process as it should be, you know, here in the legislature, then we would have been engaged, we would have been involved, and we would know what parties have come and contacted the chairman, the sponsor of the bill, or members of the majority leadership, and we simply have no idea. And I'm at least speaking for myself, and so, does anyone else want to comment?
You know, on strike, I might say that there's some pretty serious sanctions for illegal strikes. You know, public employees don't willy-nilly go out on a strike, and the fact that strikes are essentially non-existent compared to what it was when we ranked third and second in the nation from time to time prior to the collective bargaining bill. Again, when we had the most punitive anti-strike law. And you know, another thing, I remember a labor leader told me once, he said, everybody thinks that when there's a strike, the heavy load is on management. He said, you get your workers out on strike, one, they're not getting paid. There's no check coming. And it's one of the things that tends to force an agreement, just like with binding arbitration, final best offer. That's dangerous stuff when it gets down to final best offer. If you're too far out there, you're going to lose, and it tends to force people to get reasonable.
Mr. Brandstuhl, just to follow up on something